Pontiac. American-make Pontiac was no flash in the pan. Founded in Michigan in 1926, the brand was responsible for some truly iconic motors over its lifetime, chiefly the Firebird and GTO. Sales were strong and, though the Firebird largely carried the mark, in no small part thanks to appearances in Smokey and the Bandit and Knight Rider, several new models sold well, including the Fiero. Despite fielding a host of poster-worthy machines over its 92 years in business, Pontiac wouldn't survive the first decade of the new millennium, blighted by a series of mundane minivans made in its name and with owner GM in dire financial straits. The marque was culled in October 2010. DeLorean. Arguably the most infamous one-car make of all time, DeLorean was alive for just 7 years, but in that time produced one of history's most iconic cars, the DMC-12. Founded by former GM exec John DeLorean in 1975, a grant from the British government saw him set up in Northern Ireland, but times were turbulent from the off, engineering delays and budget issues abounded, leading to frequent quality control problems. Still, some 8,500 examples of the futuristic DMC-12, complete with gull-wing doors and striking stainless steel shell, made it out of the factory, including the most famous one of all, the DMC-12 that featured as the time machine in the film series Back to the Future. It's only a shame that it couldn't go back in time and save DeLorean. By 1982, the money had run out and, despite some desperate attempts to keep it afloat, John DeLorean's marque went bust. Reliant. At its peak, car manufacturer Reliant was the biggest British-owned marque in the UK. Not bad for a firm founded in a shed by two blokes building a three-wheeler. In fact, it was lightweight three-wheeled machines that made the make famous, with the glass fiber Robin proving an enduring hit, not least because it could be driven without a full car license. Reliant in fact made a host of machines over its near 70-year history, from four-wheeled efforts such as the Rebel and Scimitar, to three-wheeled utility vehicles such as the TW9, though it was always the Robin for which it was remembered. Manufacture of Reliant machines continued all the way up until 2001 when, with debts mounting, the factory stopped work, though not before a final Robin 65 was built to celebrate, you guessed it, 65 years of production. Austin. Austin, that most merged marque of mid-century motoring, founded in 1905 by Herbert Austin after he walked away from Wolseley, it enjoyed great success between the two world wars, with the affordable 7 and 10 selling seriously well for the marque. From 1952, though, things got pretty complicated. Brought under the British Motor Corporation umbrella with rival Morris, it also did a deal with Healey to build a new range of sports cars. After some confused branding of the BMC Mini, by 1970 the marque was part of the British Leyland Motor Corporation, BLMC, which became British Leyland in 1975 and plain BL in 1978. All of this led to the awful Allegro, plenty of mediocre badge-engineered efforts and, despite decent sales of the Metro, Maestro, and Montego in the ADS, it was killed off in 1987 when Rover took over. Morris. Morris was a titan of British car manufacturing, headed by the legendary William Morris, a man who believed in cutting prices without sacrificing quality. It accounted for more than half of all production between the two world wars. Its parent company held a remarkable stable of makes, including MG, Wolseley, and Riley, but Morris retained its own identity, with the Minor, launched in 1948, becoming the marque's most famous model. 1952, all of those makes were brought under the BMC banner, together with rival Austin, which led both to badge engineering and the iconic, game-changing Mini, sold under both the Morris and Austin name. In the end, with Austin men in charge at BMC, which became British Leyland in 1975, The Morris name was not long for the world, and in 1984 it was used for the last time on a van iteration of the Austin Metro.